Madlala told Mr. Hlophe straight, told him that the boyfriend of Zandi is the one who shot Senzo. Tumelo Madlala told Mr. Hlophe straight, told him that the boyfriend of Zandi is the one who shot.
Hey, tada! We are back with another video. The page it is called South African Lead News. The case will resume on the 7th of August once the defense lawyers has consulted with the Legal Aid South Africa. They are with Legal Aid because Legal Aid still need to fund their Section 174 discharge that they intend to apply for. However, there are many things that we can speak about. One that comes to mind is Longotwala. Why has Longotwala kept quiet in the last 3 years? Remember that in the past, after Senzo was shot, they were very quick to speak to the media, especially the radio. I remember at some point they went to Metro FM where they scored an own goal. But in the last 3 years, they've been quiet. That is when the case started. That's when the evidence started coming to court. So it is alleged that Longotwala was told by his father that he must keep quiet because he will dig his own grave if he speaks again. Remember, at some point, Longotwala and Zandi Khumalo, they went to Metro FM to give their version of events. There, Longotwala made a mistake. He said he ran out with his phone. But in court, we were told that his phone was left in the house. So you can see that Longotwala and the people that in the house are lying somewhere, somehow. And in the first clip that I played here, we heard Advocate Mngomezulu saying that Mlungisi Hlophe was told by Tumelo Madlala that Longwe is the actual shooter. So it is in that premise that Longotwala was told to keep quiet because witnesses might come and incriminate him. But we've seen Longotwala has been in and out of prison in the last few years. That is not by accident. It shows that Longotwala has been cursed ever since Senzo was shot. Longotwala has been cursed ever since Senzo was shot. And the curse, where does it come from? Well, some people are saying that he is cursed because he has failed to speak the truth about what happened on the day that Senzo was shot. He has failed to account. He has failed to tell the truth. The truth is the only thing that will set him free. But let us just think of this for a moment. Mngomezulu said there's a witness that will say that Longwe is the one that shot Senzo. In the normal world, Longotwala would have issued a statement saying that no, the allegation by Mngomezulu were unfortunate in lies, but he did not say a word because he sees that the more he speaks, the more people can see that he's lying. So it is alleged that after they spoke to Metro FM, a firm was hired to advise Chico and Longotwala on how to handle the PR relating to the Senzo Meya case. That is where Longotwala was then coached on how to behave. However, his drug use has not stopped, so it is hard to control how Longwe behaves, which is why he's in and out of prison. So that is why Advocate Baloyi did not call him as a witness. He is scared. He's not sure what Longotwala would say in court because Longotwala is unpredictable. Based on all the forensic evidence that is before court. There's one shocking thing here. We were told that when the intruders came into the house, Longotwala was the first one to run out. We were told that he ran past the intruders, but the intruders who were in cabbies did not shoot Longotwala. And that begs the question, why did the intruders did not shoot Longotwala? Was he working with them? So those are the things that Baloyi had to decide on. He's scared. You can see that Longotwala's fingerprints are all over this case. So it's hard to bring him as a witness. But let's talk about the fact that he ran out and nobody shot him. How was it possible? If those guys were truly in cabbies that were alleged in the house, why would they let Longotwala run out and not go after him? Why? It could only mean one thing. It means Longotwala was working with those intruders, because they would have shot him. Because in Kabi, make sure that they shoot everybody. They don't leave any witnesses. So it is mind-boggling that Longotwala was left to run out of the house without being stopped or shot or even run after him. Nobody ran after him. So why? He ran out and left his girlfriend there, Zandi Kumalo, there in the house. Then ran out. And when we try to get some more facts, we can't see the movement of Longotwala immediately after the shooting. In court, Tumelo Madala was asked, did Longotwala help to put Senzo Meyiwa in the BMW before they went to the hospital? And we were told no. So you can see that Longotwala's movement are a bit sketchy, which is why I believe the statement of Mlungisi Hlophe, which alleges that Longotwala is the one that shot Senzo Meyiwa. His behavior was erratic after that. He just ran out and he never helped with the carrying of Senzo's body to the car, meaning that he was part of the problem. Meaning that the statement of Mlungisi Hlophe is absolutely correct when it says he is the one that shot Senzo. So then it brings the question, why Baloyi did not charge him? Why? Well, obviously, we know Longotwala. He's the son of Chico Twala, a well-known South African musician, producer, businessman. So he's highly connected. So it was going to be difficult to charge Longo based on those facts alone, because in South Africa we know that justice system works for the rich. If you are poor, you're going to end up like the accused that are before court. You'll be charged for something that you did not do. Clearly. So, Baloyi never charged Longotwala. Why? Because his fingerprints are all over this case. We cannot run away from that fact. So based on that statement by Mlungisi Hlophe alone, it shows that Longotwala should have been investigated. And we were told that the gun that shot Senzo had a will, not the 9mm that was brought to court by Mangena. So those elements shows that there's fabrication in this case. The guys that are before court are innocent because they were not there. Based on the DNA evidence, it shows that the sample does not match them, meaning that they were not in the house. So why did Baloyi charge them? Clearly, the evidence was cooked so that someone is found guilty for shooting Senzo Meyiwa. Once that has been done or achieved, then they expected the people of South Africa to just keep quiet and behave that the case had been solved. But clearly we can see that the evidence does not add up. It comes back to Longotwala. That is why I do not believe that there was an intruder in that house. It is impossible that Longotwala was going to run in front of the intruders and not shoot him. You can see that this case is nonsense. So people have alleged, or should I just say, I don't know if get therefore said that Longotwala shot Senzomio by mistake, and then the people in the house, they allegedly phoned Chikotwala to explain what had just happened, and then Chikotwala allegedly gave them ideas. And thereafter, there was also a meeting in that house after Senzo was shot, which was attended by Shadrach Sibiya, the former MEC of Safety in Gauteng, as well as other political officials from the Hawks and the SAPS. That's where the intruder theory was allegedly approved. Everyone in the house was told that you must stick to one story. Say there was an intruder, because in South Africa it's common that an intruder comes into the house because of the crime rate. So they said everyone is going to believe this intruder theory because of the high crime rate in this country. Little did they know that South Africans are not gullible. They can see through this case. There was no intruder in that house. There was no intruder in that house. And I can see some of you saying that, well, there was a statement by Thabang Makeleni which says he saw two men running out of the house. But the same Thabang Makeleni is dead. He cannot speak for himself. So that statement can no longer be cross-examined by Mshololo and Mnisi. So it is difficult to accept that statement because the author is no longer with us. The person that deposed the statement is no longer there with us. If he was in court, Mnisi was going to ask him, how did you see those intruders in the dark? The people in the house could not identify intruders, yet they saw them with their own eyes. But you, Thabang Makeleni, you were able to see the intruders in the dark. How is that possible? So for me, it's clear. The statement of Thabang Makeleni was clearly cooked and fabricated in order to implicate Gadla Mncube and Bongani Ntanzi. We were told that Mncube was the first intruder and then Ntanzi was the second intruder. Yet the people in the house could not help to throw that sketch artist of Ntanzi and Gadla Mncube. It was left to Thabang Makeleni, someone that was sitting outside. That's not believable. I can't believe it. It was dark. Yes, Makeleni saw the intruders. He even saw that Ntanzi had an O-shaped beard in the dark. You can see that amanga now, which makes me wonder, was Makeleni's death a coincidence? Did someone kill him so that he could not come to court and contradict himself? Angas, it's just a question. But for me, it is strange that he died a few months after the incident. And thereafter, Brigadier Ndlovu also dies. Brigadier Ndlovu is the same police officer that was in the crime scene, that was allegedly giving instructions to Mosia. Mosia and Ndlovu were going to contradict each other in court because Mosia said he arrived at the crime scene late because Ndlovu gave him the wrong address. However, Ndlovu in his statement is saying he gave Mosia a correct address. So for the state, if Ndlovu was still alive, it was going to be a problem because Mosia and Ndlovu, one of them is lying. So if the state has two witnesses that are contradicting each other, then it brings more doubt in its case. So it was convenient that Ndlovu should kick the bucket. It's clear. So who killed Ndlovu? Who killed Ndlovu? We know that he died of poisoning, but nobody has ever been arrested for his death. No one has been arrested for his death. A few months later, his wife was shot coming out of the mall, and she also died. Who shot Mrs. Ndlovu? It's clear that Mrs. Ndlovu was shot and killed by the same person or persons that unalived her husband. Why? Clearly she knew something about this case, so she had to be eliminated. So in total, we have about 11 individuals that have died due to this case. They were associated with this case in some form or in some way or, or other. 11 people have died. And in all those 11 deaths, no one has been arrested. Why? The police do not want to investigate one of their own. That is the allegation by most people. The police have been involved in some of those deaths. And I have no reason to doubt those allegations, because when you look at things, something is fishy going on. Ndlovu's wife dies 3 or 4 months after Brigadier Ndlovu's death. Clearly, Mrs. Ndlovu knew something that was going to be bad for the state case, or it was going to contradict some of the witnesses that came before court. It is clear. It can't be a coincidence that Mrs. Ndlovu dies a few months after her husband. So Longotwala, for me, he is the person of interest that should have come before court and explained himself. Longwe was going to get a chance to speak and clear his name. That is very simple. If he took a stand, it's going to be asked, Longotwala, did you shoot Senzo Meyiwa? Then we hear his answer and take it from there. If he says no, then okay, they're going to put it to him that Mosihlope said, Tumela Madlala, you are the one that shot Senzo Meyiwa initially. Then hear what Long has to say. Then they must also ask him, Longotwala, we were told that in this court you ran out and the intruders did not shoot you. Were you working with the intruders? Then Longotwala was going to give an answer. But I'm sure if he was cross-examined by Advocate Mnisi, he was going to crack under pressure. He was going to crack and tell us the truth, because the steer of an intruder we cannot believe. We just can't believe it, because it is just too convenient. Too convenient. You can't tell me that Kelly Khumalo is a mastermind, yet you don't arrest the same mastermind. So Baloyi cannot have it both ways. If Kelly Khumalo was the intruder, she was going to be charged and become accused number 1, because she would have been the creator or the mastermind of unaliving Senzo Meyiwa. You cannot have these guys before court, yet the mastermind is singing in events, concerts, and so on. So we need Docket 375, whereby Longotwala is brought before court. Kelly Khumalo also must come to court to explain herself. We were told that after Senzo passed away, Senzo's cell phone was taken to a Pakistani shop where a SIM swap was done. So that could have been that the only person that was going to be able to do that was Kelly Khumalo, because she's the one that had Senzo's ID. So she needs to explain to court why did she do a SIM swap on Senzo Mewa's cell phone. So those are dynamics that are still in the air that needs to be questioned. But they can only be questioned if Longotwala, Kelly Khumalo are brought before court. Then my favorite, Mapiri, the cleaner of the crime scene, she has to come to court and tell us who told her to clean the crime scene. That is the biggest question that is flying in the air. Who told you, Mapiri, to clean the crime scene? Because cleaning the crime scene, it is a crime. You are diverting the ends of justice. You should be you should be in prison for that, because now the investigators cannot have the true evidence or raw evidence as it was, because you clean the crime scene. So now the blood on the floor was removed. The bottle of alcohol that was there during the day, it was removed. We were told that they did not find any fingerprints in the sink and so on. Why? It means someone wiped it. So Mapiri should join the two, Longwe, Kelly, and then her. Those are the people that the defense must subpoena to come and testify before court, because now the state witnesses are now free to come to testify on behalf of the defense, since the state has closed its case. But those three, they've got so many questions to answer and so many skeletons that are hidden in their closet. So I'm hoping that when the case resumes, we'll get more answers, more clarity on the way forward. But as things stands, that defense will apply for Section 174 discharge, because the state has failed to produce sufficient evidence to convict these 5 guys. So if they are successful with that application, then the accused will be found not guilty, and then the case will be dismissed. But if Rata refuses, then the defense will have to open its case and call its witnesses. And those are the witnesses that I've mentioned that are very important, including Makubo, Jos Buthelezi, as well as Absalom Mzungu, because Absalom Mzungu has debunked the story that was told by Gininda in court. Ukuthi yena uBaba uZungu wabhala statement. uBaba uZungu watshela iSunday World ukuthi cha, amanga wonke lawo angekaze ngibhale statement for uGininda. But ke asilindeke icala liqale phansi futhi liqhubeke njalo ngomhla ka 7 August 2025. Thank you for watching.